I was just a little tomboy running around playing with like dolls, Hot Wheels. And so when it happened, I had no clue. I went from being a very vivacious girl who was unafraid of anything to being afraid of everything. It caused a lot of problems. And so as a teenage girl, I started ditching class. I was angry. My mother went through a divorce, and my father wasn't there, so we ran away.
Psychology with scripture. There was a counselor, a psychologist that went to our church. One day, all the blinders came off. And just like Helen Keller's I shared today, I said, apple. I said, tree. I get it, I see. Because there's not a drug in the world that can give you an identity that you've never discovered.
And be known ultimately by God. That is where we get the word sex from, but this isn't that. When people hear the word sex, you automatically think of something delightful with your husband or your wife, which is why people have a hard time grasping the understanding of rape and sex slavery, because everything is crossed in the mind. But this isn't that. This is a vile, lascivious, wicked thing. And when you're a child that comes out of that, no one understands.
So
but Isaiah 40
and girls. Yesterday I talked about these two girls who are 12, hung up by the ceiling, cut, sodomized by an uncle. For 3 years, from 5 to 8. They'll be 13 soon. They think their life is over. And the guardians with them think that they are out of order. But if you open your heart in a non-judgmental way, young people will share the truth with you.
Yes, they do.
I talk and speak at high schools all the time, and the stuff that goes on there, they won't always tell you.
You see, ego, whether you're really narcissistic or have a lot of confidence, or you're really broken down here, all ego is at the core is self-focus. And the only way we can ever be any use to God and to ourselves is to take our eyes off of ourselves and put them on the kingdom. That's what time it is right now.
This is the clarion call. This is the wake-up call for us to be free, truly free and liberated. Jesus came to set the captives free. But the suicide of children is up. Children are being trafficked by gang members all around us.
We have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So let me just explain for a minute how someone ends up raped, violated, mutilated their womb. And people say, oh, baby's all right. She's all right. They're okay. They're okay. We just got a divorce. They're okay. Daddy just whooped mom upside the head. They're okay. The uncle just molested her, but nobody knows. They're okay. But then 16, 17, 18, 19, you start seeing these issues. And then 25, and then 30, you start seeing deeper issues. And then you have Xanax, Prozac, antidepressants, alcoholism, drug addiction, crack.
Love is everything, you see. Jesus is that love personified. Love is the crescendo. It's the creme de la creme. It's at the top. And when you operate in that supernatural love, everything else has to chase you down because everything else is lower than it. And if you get nothing today, understand that truth. It is the most powerful and profound revelation. It is why you are here, to be transformed and prepared, not just for this life, but this life. Yes, salvation is now, every provision, daily benefits, but then the world to come.
Understand that right now in your own city and around the world, there's baby farms popping up all over the place where they snatch and take young girls, and that's where they live. And they are raped, impregnated, and they breed babies, and they sell them right into sex slavery.
Children involved in sex trafficking experience extremely high levels of brokenness, crippling stress, underdeveloped identities, and are positioned for various behavioral disorders and mental illness. So when someone is raped one time, major issues. Second time, third time, fourth time, over and over and over and over again. Young girls and boys involved in sex slavery, forced prostitution. You see, there was never a thing that we called teenage prostitution. How could there be a such thing as teenage prostitution when sex with a minor is rape? There is no such thing as an older man with a young girl, but there are pedophiles, traffickers, and victims.